So, you should be able to see me in there. Red, orange, and yellow guy. Beard should be somewhat blue and black. So I know, and this will work tonight too. That means I'm the hottest thing inside the frame tonight. Sorry, Chip. But that's kind of how that goes. By the way, bridal parties, that slays. I always like that. They love it. So with that, we are looking for those cold spots. That's why I pointed out my beard. It's much cooler than my skin. So those cold spots, I'm looking for them to either take shape or to start moving on their own when I'm spot checking your video, which is what the person will be looking for when they're using this camera. When I say take shape, I want a head, shoulders, moving arms, and legs. That's what we've caught in the past. That's hopefully what we're going to capture again. I also love to give you guys stats about my equipment because I do this about 200 to 225 times a year on top of my own personal investigations. I get about 4 to 5 pieces out of this guy per year that I would put my stamp of approval on, not per episode. I'm not a TV show host nor a YouTuber that's going to manifest stuff for you guys and say, oh my God, that's the best thing I've ever seen. If it's great, I'll tell you it's great. If it's nothing, I'm going to tell you it's nothing. It's kind of how this goes. There's also a blue dot bouncing around the screen. The blue dot is there to show you the coldest spot in the frame at that particular moment. I usually look for about 15-degree temperature drops. We're about 76 degrees out here. I'll be looking for 61 degrees and colder coming out of that blue dot in the event that we don't have a blue person walking towards us. You guys see the point on that one? Perfect. So Chip, this one's going to go over to no vehicles around. So we're going to have the whole space to ourselves, which is wonderful. So 2 nights ago, this place was packed and I was sold out. So imagine 10 people trying to weave in and out of cars and all of that mess. So we got the whole place to ourselves. By the way, communication devices, which pretty much everybody has one, except for Chip and CALEIGH. You guys are the only two. So this is where I start withholding information. I will not be giving you questions here like what color is George Washington's white horse. I will give you focus questions when we split up, and then you can either focus on those or say them out loud. But I will not give you questions like that George Washington's white horse bit. You'll get the answers from your spirit box. So, what is this place? This used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion. Their mansion sat in front of the space facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with 5 Church restaurants from all the way across. We are standing in the servant slave quarters for the home.
7.4.
Thank you. Keep it escalating now. Don't give me anything below that 7.4. So, that's the layout of the land. Who the hell were these people? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles.
13.
That's 3 Chucks. So in case you weren't paying attention. That's why we look for those secondary clues, so I know which Charles is here. So Jen here's the name Charles. Hopefully Courtney here's some kind of clue so I know which one it is. So we are at 7.4 and 13. Is that what you had?
Can I have this always like on one ear while you talk?
That's up to you.
Here too.
Yeah, completely up to you. Whatever you're comfortable with, I guess.
Okay.
So, the son and the nephew, by the way, of Eliza, were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Big deal for us, but I hate politics more than all of you combined, especially this year. But if I don't give the gentleman that recognition, they will do it for me in a nasty manner coming out of the spirit box. So I just give it to them and move on. We're going to discuss Eliza instead. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. When I say it slowly like that, it's for a reason. Do not, if you're going to ask her how old she was, don't expect numbers like 12 and 14 from the colonial days of when young girls got married. Think of today's standards, because the husband was over double her age when they married. So it's kind of a creepy age gap then, it's a creepy age gap now. By the way, what's the relationship between each pair that's here? Friends.
Husband
Husband, wife.
Married. Friends. Okay. I always like to know because I never know anymore. But anyway, so, and she married him because her father was over in England. He thinks he's dying. He's trying to basically bring all of his kids home one last time so he can see them. And Eliza didn't believe he was dying, so she stayed put right here, got married. It's 1744. You do not get married in that year to earn a green card because we are not a country yet. She did marry him out of love. This is a true love story. Nothing horrific about this location. If anything, it's a place of respect. Moving on, she was correct. Dad did not die right away, and instead he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. That's a plant that makes blue dye, makes your blue jeans blue. So Courtney's the only one wearing it tonight, because that's what we use it for today. When she got those seeds, no idea what to do with them. Learned from her servants and slaves how to keep it going, because it's not always hot here. Then she learned how to make the dye, moved it to a cash crop, got a hold of Dad, told him rice plantation prices are going downhill. We're going to make a killing with this indigo. She was right, because now we have an international businesswoman during colonial times. That is something absolutely unheard of. So that's the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit, because that's why you guys are here. So with each person holding any type of communication device, I am going to give you that set of focus questions. If you go rogue, Be respectful, no yes, no questions, and do not, please do not ask about her children. I will reveal why before we leave the space. What will happen here is I'll spread you guys out. I'll do a few round robins, take a lot of notes, and then bring you back to show you how it all ties together.
24.2.
Holy cow, 24.2. Yeah, you're gonna hang on to that. It's sticking to you. So, 24.2. That's nice. We normally get an average of 18 to 22 here, so we're already kind of past that.
21.1.
So your base is just going to basically be at 25. By the way, the blinky light device that I showed you guys earlier, it only goes to 25. Only goes to 25. Like that's its max. Right, exactly. We've already had a 24 point something. Yeah, kind of crazy.
And what is that number?
It's measuring the electricity in the air. So if it spikes, it is definitely not coming from a man-made object because there is no electricity in this space. Michelle, your devices are going to work hand in hand. Here's why. I'm going to do an experiment with you. I don't always hand these two things to one person. They usually spread out. On your right hand, you're going to be looking for Eliza's full initials, ELP. On the left hand, you're going to be looking to see what the L stands for. Because again, she is the second wife named Eliza from Charles, back to back. First wife named Eliza also had a maiden name that started with the letter L. So her initials are also ELP. So hopefully you get something on your left hand that's going to signify that. Obviously, there might be other clues. But by the way, if you're asking questions, your answers can go anywhere. 2 cameras, my voice recorder, any communication device that we have. That's how this goes. So Jen and Courtney, you're just going to have the same set of questions, only because you're using a little bit of giving you more out of the spirit box itself. So you're going to be focused on her death. 4 major questions we get answers to: how she died, how old she was when she died, where she's buried, and which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So those are the 4 majors. So she's pretty open about telling you guys about these details too. And Vicky, as far as your spirit box, you're going to be focused on the mansion. It's not here anymore. What happened to it, you can ask all day long. Hopefully we get what happened to it. If we get that, we often get 2 or 3 numbers from the date of when that tragedy occurred. I gave you a clue. It's a tragedy of what happened to the mansion. Keep in mind, your answers can and will go anywhere. That's why I love those. Even if there was just 2 of you here, there would still be at least 2 communication devices plus a camera. So that way there's at least 3 ways to communicate back and forth. So if we've heard anything yet, I know you guys kind of.
I heard question number 1.
Question number 1, and you heard nothing yet?
No.
You'll get the gist. So most people suck at this when they start off. Don't feel bad. You'll get better at it. And if not, you can just hand it
No,
off
it's
to
just
Kelly.
like a lot of in and out, but nothing.
Well, also remember, I'm withholding a lot of information. So
I haven't heard any. I'm pretty sure I heard "Yeah" by Usher, but that's
Yeah.
so we're up to a 24.
20, yeah.
So just don't tell me anything below 25 at this point, just so we can kind of see what's going on there. So we're going to get you unmuted. You guys are going to spread out. I'm going to keep Michelle behind with me for just a minute so I can show her more about that particular little Ouija board device, but I'll be with everybody in just a minute. Go listen in without me talking in your ears. All right.
So, how did your house...
Are you unmuted?
I am muted.
You're unmuted.
I am mute. How did your house get destroyed? What year did your house burn down? How old were you when your house?
$70 something.
That's what I heard, yeah.
70.
How old were you when the house died, went down?
Yeah, wishy-washy. you guys in real time because it's small. I put them up on YouTube. That way you guys can watch them on your TV. I watch them on a computer screen, so it's nice and large. So if there's a reason why I'm talking to the people with the communication devices, that's more like real-time stuff for me. So if we get something where, you know, she hears Eliza and then we hear Indigo on another one, I'm going to be looking at the camera around that same time frame to see if we have something.
I heard something about Labor Day. Is that relevant?
I'll write it down.
I heard Labor Day and I heard cloud. And Labor Day. Oh my god.
I have a hard time with this device.
You want to switch?
I can't hear. I don't know. With my, I think it, like my ADHD, it's hard for me to. It's too much. Or just stay with me so you. You ask a question.
What happened to your mansion and what year did it fall?
Stick together because if you miss something, the audio of the camera will pick it up.
Yeah.
So that way you can get it that way.
Yeah, that way, yeah.
Anything else about 25?
Oh, 41.
Yeah.
That's 80. I just saw it.
Yeah,
Holy crap.
it's right around here.
That was a lot right there.
Yeah.
It's 41.
47.
She's picking up some sound, but she can't make out anything yet. That
See,
was-
like I can't understand that.
Yeah. And again, if you can't understand it, you weren't meant to hear it.
Okay.
So you're not going to hear nearly as much as the other two.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Just remember that. You're only
Okay.
going to have like 25 or 30 terms.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I do my own investigations, that's the one I use because it's the most accurate.
Okay.
So keep that in
Wow.
mind. That was
Okay.
really high. Still anything, we're just going to go anything above 50 because I've seen a 29.9, I've seen a 41,
Right.
a 43. I wrote all those down.
Okay.
So we're just going to stick above 50 at this point.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What is your name? Who are you trying to speak through? Are you male? Are you female? What is your name?
I'm gonna walk this way.
Okay. Did you die here? Oh, good man.
What year did the house burn down?
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah.
40? 47?
I heard something 7.
47.
How many people were in the house when it went down? What was your husband's name?
Dabney. You can talk. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Any words yet?
47.
That was the year of Big John.
Okay.
Sounds like somebody's trying to come through. Danger.
Danger.
I heard danger.
Yeah.
I'll go this way. How old were you when the house went down? What happened to the house? I got danger.
47 is really cool because she had the name John show up on the digital Ouija board.
Oh, really?
Yep. So I'm hip to that. There might be something else going on here. I'm just waiting to see if the name of a person comes up or not.
Thought I heard like Dabney or something like that come through. I don't know
Was
what
it?
Dabney. When you ask some like who are we speaking with now or who's
Yeah.
trying to come through, it's like Dabney. It sounds like Dabney. I don't-
And it might not always be a direct answer either.
Yeah.
So, and you could be getting answers from somebody else's question. So if you ask
True.
who are we speaking with, you might get an answer 10 minutes later.
Right.
I've
Right.
seen that pretty much nightly.
Yeah.
So. Somebody's having a good
Someone
time.
is smoking out,
I
man.
saw some smoke puffs over there, so I don't know if it was them. It's just lingering.
It's still hovering.
Yeah, it's still zero.
Zero.
Okay.
Huh? Okay.
It's been
So.
zero for a while.
Okay.
Gonna walk around this way.
Wait a
Yeah.
couple more minutes.
Show me that you're here. Prove to me that you're here. What's your name? Sorry. So this box in my hand will show me if you're around. Can you make the number go up again over 50.
Jen, Vicky, anything else? How are your numbers?
0.
Okay, it's time to wrap them up. Everybody's done hitting your stop button. Try to point your camera going one or the other down the alley. If anybody comes through the alley, including other tours or other tourists, we'll just split the seas. You guys will point your cameras downwards. We will understand the shop with your feet. We don't want anybody to feel weird or uncomfortable. Remember, you're at an 8 or above is what we're looking for. All right. Welcome to Philadelphia Alley. This is what we call it now. However, oh, by the way, we're going to be here. We're going to stir shit up and we're going to leave. Only because I can't take you all the way through the alley. This is another space I've been kicked out of. I'll tell you about that before we leave. Because yes, that's the funny part of the story. But anyway, this used to be called Jewelers Alley. This is where some of the jewels used to occur for the city of Charleston. I say some because it was illegal in the 1700s and find hiding spots. This just happened to be one of them. So here's how the story goes. Every ghost tour comes down here and they all tell the same story. I'm just going to give you a few extra details because you're ghost hunting. You're not on a campfire marshmallow kind of ghost tour. So kind of keep that in mind. And we do have a, the walking vehicles.
They're coming toward us.
So just kind of be mindful of that now. But at any rate, here's how the story goes. I was going to take this out of my route, but this guy follows me around because we will be near a place of raised emotion of his for the rest of the evening. He loves to show up in all kinds of places. He does have a code word to let me know he's around on a spirit box. I'm not going to tell you guys what that code word is, so when it does occur, I'll let you know. And it's not a word you would commonly hear on a radio station, so when we do get it, I definitely know it's him. You guys see the point? All right. The doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. Is the first RI. That's what that one's going to mean. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. In any event that the song Brown Eyed Girl shows up on Jen's recording while we're here, it's not coincidence. It happens all the time. It's part of his name, so the word Brown. But anyway, he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents, and she has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash flow that she just got. Lower your camera until they pass by. I'll keep talking. So, Doc moves down here to Charleston to prove that he's not after Amanda's money. He's going to make his own, starting his medical practice down here. So on his way into town, he had a coachman. This coachman, he set him up to be robbed and killed. So, change that diary over here. It doesn't need the footage, by the way.
Oh, okay.
It's actually, I love this thing. It's actually not very expensive at all for what these things normally cost. But anyway, so on his way into town, this coachman set him up to be robbed and killed. And not a very good start to his stay here in Charleston. It's kind of like having a really bad Uber driver, by the way. So for those who took an Uber here, I'm sorry that I just put that nightmare in your brain. But anyway, so somebody was walking by, and he seen what was about to happen to the newcomer. The person walking by, his name was Ralph Isaacs. There's another RI for you, because it has the same initials as where the doctor came from. We were getting the letters RI on a regular spirit box like Jen's, and so I bought the device that Michelle was using to kind of verify it. We've had it about 7 or 8 times in the past year whenever I bring up Ralph's name. And you're not recording yet, so you can hit that button again. So Ralph tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me to 59 Church Street. I got friends there. They'll rent your room to be safe and good to go. The doctor come up on that offer, and they became friends. The longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he's making. Proving his point, he's not after Amanda's money. He's making his own. Amanda gets wind of this, and she's moving down so they could be married. Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor. Exactly. This is actually part of the reason why I hate the story, is because every haunted city you will ever visit is going to have a cliched whistling ghost. I know, your camera again, that's what I'm talking about. And so, every haunted city has a cliched whistling ghost. Ours just happens to be a doctor. There is some legitimacy here. Obviously, we have some of it already. The word whistling, as we're kind of getting closer to this alleyway. But why are we standing in Jewelers Alley? Let's get into that. Doc and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. On the way home, they're discussing the new actress that they just saw. Doc thought she was great. Ralph didn't. Then Ralph is insulting the doctor's fiance. Back home in Rhode Island, it got really ugly. They go their separate ways. By the way, that's another southern word I picked up, was got ugly. It's not something we say in Ohio. But sorry, we were talking about language earlier. It just popped up in my brain. But anyway, Ralph left that whole argument, but he went to his friends at the newspaper and placed an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of bullshit. Doc saw the ad, obviously, and rebutted with, "Let's go to Dueler's Alley. Somebody's gonna die." So they came down here. They took the 10 paces. By the way, that argument started over in actors. I just like to point out how dumb shit was in the 1700s. They're back to
Still
back.
dumb shit.
I know, right? Take 10 paces away from each other. They turn. Doc points his gun in the air and shoots his one bullet. Didn't want to kill his friend. He just needed the courage to show up. But Ralph still has his one bullet. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Doc didn't die, but Ralph proved his point. He's still pissed. Doc's friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street. He died 10 days later, November 2nd of 1786, after refusing medical treatment. Two things about that last statement. First, it's 1786. Gunshot wounds back then, a lot different than what we know of them now. Secondly, he is a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself. But obviously, he failed because he died. Now, every ghost tour that comes down here tells their guests to listen for the whistles while they're here. We have 2 cameras running and plus my voice recorder, and obviously we're getting the word whistle on spirit boxes. So, if it's going to show up on a disembodied way, it's going to show up in audio format from the cameras of my voice recorder. But, can't tell you how many times we've had the word whistle come up on a spirit box, and on a recording, a lot of times we'll get the whistling part of the song, and then the word doctor from a commercial immediately after. Doctor, get it all the time. It's just him saying hello, letting us know he's around. There's a lot of other things about Dr. Ladd that I have not told you that do pop up from time to time. I'll let you know what those things are when they pop up and be able to verify those things for you. So let's talk about how I got kicked out of here. Oh, first off, if you're going to try this on your own without me, because I can't take you all the way through, use the voice recorders from your phone. Just remember, every local knows the story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down this alleyway. It's just something we do here. So kind of keep that in the back of your brain. But, wow, you jumped pretty good there. So this alley didn't always go all the way through that way. There was a wall about halfway between where we're standing and Cumberland Street because this was called Cow Alley before it was Dueler's Alley. So that means that they kept the livestock down here. That was a nickname. So they started down there by Queen Street and worked their way this way. That means those bricks are older than these bricks that they started with. So those bricks are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there with fingerprint swipes and others. I used to take my groups down there for a history lesson. We all need to see how far we've come from slavery. By the way, you already know how I feel about cemeteries. That kid's not staring at that brick in the afterlife. I know nothing's going to happen. However, November 26th of 2020, my entire group of 10 is huddled around that brick with the handprint, waiting for something to happen. I'm trying to shoot them along because we're also standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm just trying to be respectful, not realizing we were out of bounds. So, he came out screaming, by the way. My daughter was on the tour that night and thought it was absolutely hysterical that her father was getting screamed at by some random stranger, and we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on holidays mainly, especially Thanksgiving, because I worked in upper management for Walmart, and you all like to fight over towels on Thanksgiving, and you scarred me for life. I just stay home on Thanksgiving. So the next day, I called my partner that I had at the time, and I told him what happened so I could figure out what to do next. It's Black Friday, I'm sold out again, and I'm freaking out. So he says, he's laughing, just like my daughter did, by the way. He's like, you can't go down that far, dude. You gotta reroute. You don't want to go down halfway. So I told my group that night, I'm into vampires, not pirates. I would normally tell you a pirate story next, but I've been kicked out of there too. But I did not tell that group which pirate we were going to be investigating. Somebody, before we left, heard the name Anne. Didn't tell them it was going to be Anne Bonny, the famous female pirate. Normally, if I tell you pirate stories in Charleston, you're thinking Blackbeard. That's usually the first thing on everybody's mind. We got up around the corner. I told them what I knew about piracy, which wasn't much because I wasn't really hip on the subject. Somebody else heard the number 300. I didn't know what that meant, so I wrote it down. I do the research back at the office. Turns out we were there on November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. It's the exact 300-year anniversary of her pirate trial. Now, I had been to that location dozens of times with equipment and never got anything. So, the interesting thing is that normally I was expecting a lot of things that were happening over there, but I'm starting to realize it could have been bleed over from another nearby story. So, the next story that I tell you about this Sue Howard Hardy bit is a story that I don't like to tell. I'll explain that once we get up and around the corner. I'm actually going to be replacing it probably starting next week. I've been always looking for something new, and I think I may have found it. Only because I've been getting clues from it all along and didn't even know it. And nobody tells that story anymore, which is very interesting. So hopefully we can capture something. What we're going to be looking for at the next spot is going to be an apparition. I'll tell you what goes on with this apparition. But Callie's camera is going to be the major focus. But Chip, you're going to keep your camera against the gate up there as well. You're basically taking the same shot. Here's why. If we find something on that camera that I can't explain, I want to see how your camera reacted to it. So that way we have the exact same shot. Spirit boxes, after I'm done obviously going through the history, you guys are going to turn up your spirit boxes again, and you're going to let me know what you're hearing. We'll stay up there and get about, I don't know, 5 to 8 minutes worth of footage from the cameras. It is a popular stop as well, so I don't know if other tourists are going to be waiting for the spot. From the looks of this, probably not. Looks like I'm the only person working tonight. And by the way, I don't consider this working. I just think you guys go hunting, because that's what life is. Any crazy numbers?
Nothing.
Anything crazy at yours?
What knee was he shot in?
I don't know.
Because the word left popped up when you were talking about the story.
I'll dive in and see if I can find that. I don't know that I've ever known that answer, but I'm not afraid to say that I don't know something. So I'll definitely dive into that when I'm going through the research. You didn't have your headphones on,
No, I
but
was
you.
listening to you. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's your night. Did you hear anything? All right. So let me take a look at your screen. Let me just make sure that you're still sweeping. Yep, you're still going. Is it too fast?
I don't know. Maybe a little.
Let's see if I can. It's okay. I can always slow it
Like
down.
maybe it's me. Maybe it's the
This one
me.
is. Where's the sweep rate? Yeah, I can slow it down for you. Let's try this.
I don't hear anything. Like it's really low.
Say when.
That's good.
That spirit box is still new for me, so I'm still working with the settings. So I actually had you set it back to the things. So just because that one works off the film bits as well. So I compliment when I was listening to it, was like, oh, I think I like these settings. So that's we will unmute when we're going up around the corner, but once we get started up again, we'll get you back on mute, start the photo story, and you can mute again. How's your light battery? 3 amp. Still on 3? Nice. Okay. Alright. This is completely up to you guys. We're only going up around the corner, so we're going to continue. Let's go through. Alright, good.
2-0 coming add. I don't know.
2-0. Did you get anything?
That was like the first thing I heard.
Except that's the thing.
You have it muted over time? Hey.
Stop.
Please. This is a.
I swear I heard friends.
Jackie. Jackie's always stealing my thunder. She's always around.
Hi, sweet girl.
She's very friendly. Trust me, she'll come up to every one of you.
Oh my God.
I just named her Jackie. And I named her Jackie because I would normally tell you the pirate story across the street, and one of the many lovers of Anne Bonny was the real person that they based your Johnny Depp character from the Pirates movies off of. His name was Calico Jack. So I used to call Jackie Jack until Jackie showed up pregnant. Oh, your name's going to change to Jackie. Did you hear anything along the way? What do we got?
I had go and then stop.
Go and stop.
I heard 220, and then I also heard 50.
So you had 20 and then 220.
No, I'm
Or
sorry.
2
I'm so
0.
scared of catfish.
2 0.
You're allergic?
No, they freak me out. And it cuts.
You would hate my house.
No judgment, I didn't. Kitty, 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 kitty.
I need to come with you.
DR backwards.
What was it?
DR backwards.
So RD.
There.
So we had the RD though. Is that what it says?
Oh, there is.
Yeah, with two
Yeah, it goes
initials, I
RD.
usually want them like
Okay.
consecutive. And normally initials at all. I normally look for them. I love how she's filming the cat, by the way.
You never know what's attached.
I know, right? Oh my god. Jackie could like be a ghost this whole time, and I'd never know
See,
it.
that's what you should have done around the corner. You should have said, if you see an orange cat, it's attached.
Yeah, yeah,
Everybody would have freaked out.
she's gonna go visit everybody else.
Yeah.
All right, so every ghost tour ends there. Let me tell you why. By the way, we'll probably be
Are
over
we
here for.
ending?
No,
Oh,
they
okay,
do.
just checking.
So I usually would normally let them have it. I wouldn't even tell you the story until something popped up, like Howard, where I would have to tell the story to tell you why we have this going on. By the way, we're probably going to be here for like 5 to 10 minutes if you want to stop your cameras, because we're not really filming much. And I'll show you exactly where the headstone is at. Callie, did you figure out where the zoom is?
Yeah, it's on the top here?
Yeah, yep. So do you guys see the cross headstone in the background?
Yeah.
So to the left of that, one more row back. So we were actually closer to Sue's grave back in the alley than we are over here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I wasn't surprised when Howard came through for you guys. But yeah, we'll stay up here for a few minutes, and that light up there to the left, that was actually put there intentionally, so anybody trying to take photographs, it causes a light flare. So nobody's trying to recreate it, but my cameras see right through that shit.
So aim for the cross?
I mean, you can pan all you want to, just to see if we get any kind of activity. I'm kind of see, I don't think I've had anybody like actually pan the cemetery with that new camera just yet. I'm glad that thing has a hand strap, because if you drop it, we're screwed. $200 down the bank. How are we doing on the words? No what? Obviously, you're looking for that CHH on this end. Anything previous on the note? Planes, naturally, muscles.
Yeah, that was after it said left over and muscle while they were telling the story of the shot.
Did he cut the muscle? Did it out? I don't know. It's a stretch. Yeah, that list is actually pretty light to me. At least from a first glance. So we don't know. I mean, usually when I get it like in a row, I can see the timestamps on it. I'm like, oh yeah. I don't know how the hell we missed that. And it's not we, it's me. Like, 'cause I'm the one that has the knowledge of it. You guys don't know what the hell you're looking for all the time. You can turn that thing on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't hear any noises over here.
Let's see if we can listen. That was weird that you talked about that guy, because I heard somebody laughing right behind me, and there was nobody there before you even told that story. And Mel's voice is like it was. I was expecting someone like a straggler from a group.
Yeah.
And Mel's voice. I'm like, and it was like.
Before I told you this
Yeah.
story. That was weird.
Yeah.
It's like I have.
Thing picks up a lot.
Yeah. And that's on a slow speed.
school 140 years ago.
Yeah, but the number 7 shows up here all the time. I'll let you know what the other number is.
What was 140 years? I can't do math right now. 1880. That's 7 scores is what she said, right?
Score is what, 12 years?
20.
20.
So it'll be 140 years away.
1884. Close.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Something happened then?
This whole incident, she died in 1888.
Oh.
So it's only like
What's funny is we normally get a commercial with the phone number 1888. That happens here all the time. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I'll look up to see when she got married.
Okay.
Because it may have been that exact year. We're not going to get the husband's name because it's Gaston. So unless Gas and Ton show up on the word list, that's the only way we're going to be able to get that because Gaston is not a common name. What's our count look like on your timer there, Callie?
7 minutes exactly.
Okay. Here about another minute or so. 7 score.
Yep.
You guys
You
pick up
do
on
anything?
that? You guys pick up on what you first? No, she's at 7 score.
Something 1884. What happened? By 2? What happened?
I'm like, ours is just really clear.
Who are you here to visit?
Yeah.
That sounds like master.
After?
Master?
And then who heard never gonna be free? Somebody heard never gonna be free.
Missed
30 miles? Is that what that said?
Sound like 30 miles. Yeah.
Sue, we're gonna wrap it up. Any last messages for this group? We'll take it.
Come on, Howard.
Forget?
Forget. Did you forget?
Do you want us to forget? Anywhere. One last good pan, Callie, and we'll call it quits. Go ahead and get the camera stopped. We'll move down just a little bit so I can explain so far, and then I'll tell you why I tell the story, while you guys think of a couple more questions. So, this is the new space for this year. I bought that voice recorder just to do this. Like, that's the whole sole reason. I wanted something a little bit different than what you guys normally see. So one night, and I started coming here on November 1st of last year. So we were weeks and weeks, nothing was really going on. And then one night, somebody listening raised their hand and said, I just heard a female voice. Nice quiet night, just like this. So I sent somebody around the corner to make sure there was nobody down there. We're looking around, there's nobody around. I go back to the office and listen to it. help in the background, female voice. Very cool. Wait, it gets better. A couple weeks go by, still nothing. Next person all of a sudden says, I heard a female voice. This is weeks later. Nobody around. Did the same thing. Send somebody around, blah, blah, blah. Go back to the office. Help me, I have fallen. Now, I have the word help, which is a keyword that was said in the previous EVP. I'm able to compare the sound waves. They are identical. It is the same voice. I have some mumbles, but I don't count mumbles because I can't make them out. I don't like to hand over stuff that I can't, like that. It's a possibility. With this, I want it straight up. I shouldn't have to tell you what it says. And that's what the first two were that I told you about. Any other questions that you would ask Miss Mary before I tell you why I told the story? Okay. Alright, some of that stuff can get really loud in here. You guys will be able to pass that around before we leave this space too, in case anybody else wants to see what the hell we've got going on. So, for the next session that I told you we're going to be doing with the blindfolds and the VR and all of that stuff, I wasn't doing the story, nor did I know about it. So one night I'm doing the blindfold test, and one of the blindfolded people says 33 murder Mary. I don't know what any of that shit means. I wrote it all down once I got back to the office, but we also had an image that showed up through the virtual reality piece. So I'm like digging around for any stories dealing with a Mary. I'm just thinking it's bleed over from somewhere around here because we're literally going to that park right behind me. So I'm like, I'm looking for all these stories around Mary, but I'm going to show you the image that showed up that we got through the virtual reality piece the same night that we had murder, Mary, and 33 all at the same time. You're going to see Mary Ravenel on the left and the image on the right.
Okay, wow.
Look at the facial features,
Yeah.
eyebrows, lips,
Yeah.
cheekbones, like almost identical. I could probably do a layover at this, and you would actually be able to see how close the relation actually is.
Wow.
So this is how I come up with the stories that I tell you guys. So again, I'm not like buy the Charleston Ghost books, you know what I mean, at the bookstore like you guys are doing. That's great. I might pull one or two of those from here and there, like the Sue Howard Hardy story. That's always going to be a tale around here. But the story I'm replacing it with, they stopped telling that story. And I don't know if it deals because it deals with a freed slave or not, but it's an interesting story that's almost a parable style. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to capture something with the cameras that we're using. But I know I've already gotten things from spirit boxes with that. Anybody else want to test out what this thing actually sounds like? And have you heard anything?
I heard earlier, right before, where you're like, does anybody have any questions? And it got silent. I heard faintly questions.
Okay.
And then it's with all the other noises, it's been hard with all the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine doing this on a weekend.
Yeah.
It just ruins the recording. Like, it's horrible. Anybody else want to take a listen? Wow. It's usually all or none with you guys. I think it's hysterical. Like, you guys all like hesitate. But
I'll try.
see, there we go. One taker. All right, so 7, 6, 6. And yeah, you can just stop the camera and just set it down. If you want to take a listen. Any words that we need to know about when we've been here?
The only word that's popped up since we've been here is gray.
Great. Sorry, Jen, you about to say?
I was gonna say I've been listening to you.
Oh no.
Sorry, 776 and you had woman screaming along the way here. And then, what did you guys get along the way here?
I got artist,
Yeah, soccer.
soccer, and minute.
Minute. You feeling better?
Artist.
She got nauseous when we left the
Oh,
cemetery.
I had to throw up.
Yeah.
You okay?
I'll be all right. Yeah.
Okay.
Right when we left the cemetery, she was like,
I'm like, I don't feel good.
Oh.
better now.
I will.
Did you say symptoms? Oh,
Her voice. The thing is, her voice is so
scary?
quiet and higher. You know, higher pitch. When it's down there, it's like you're like, oh, that was her.
It like sent chills down my spine.
Symptoms.
Anybody else want to try that out? I usually give you guys like the extra like a minute or two of each.
Yeah, I'll try it.
You
I'll
can
try.
also see why I put the windscreen on it. Like the slightest breeze coming through here will
I can
ruin
hear
it.
the wind still.
I can almost fall asleep listening to that.
Somebody else said that to me last week.
I'm that ocean sound. I'm like, yeah, that'd put me to sleep.
All right, let's give Chip a turn on there and see what he got. That was a corn too. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's intense. Joe, you got anything? That list is deep. Some nights it'll give me like 15 to 20 terms. Other nights it might give me like 2. But it's a good supplement. See why I use so many different devices? Even if it was just 2 of you, we would probably use most of it without it. Like a lot of it. Just to kind of make sure we have a well-rounded therapy. Of course, I'm not going to blindfold you. But Still didn't do it. We are listening, Mary. Last chance. We're going to wrap it up. If you're here, give us something. If not, you know where we will be. All right, Chip, give it up.
Hear faint birds, so down here that could be anywhere.
Bird?
Yeah, just like a hawk and then a squawk and just chirping.
So this thing actually tweaked out 2 investigations last week. Like we didn't have a recording one night, and then I noticed it was like flashing on another night. Which again, it's only 1 button tap. Like, and that other same night we didn't have a spirit box recording either. Like the person was listening all night, it just didn't record. It's like craziness. So sometimes you just have to look at the thing as a whole, other than like what didn't happen or what did happen versus what happened with the equipment. You know, and there were 2 different people using this equipment, so I was just checking to make sure like this recorded the whole thing. Cheese. You know what's funny about the word cheese? That is the longest word we've had so far on the Ouija board. It spelled out the word cheese one night.
This thing is on one.
Yeah. Look at you keeping up with shit. You're not getting a raise. You can see I come fully prepared.
Yeah.
Alright, hand it over, we'll swap out this light, and then we will go blindfold some of you. How's that sound? And that will be our final stop.
I feel like I heard murder. But it was so fast.
Did you think you heard it, or are you positive you heard it?
It was the same way like I heard out so quick. That I doubted it.
Alright, let's go blindfold some people. Let's do it. Chip, have a seat.
Alright.
So, I guess we'll put that away because we'll have footage from the other one.
Okay. Come on, it's my finger.
I got it.